If you haven't gotten a chance to already, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Child, we let those chicken thighs marinate in the refrigerator for 2 hours. With that Walker's Wood Jamaican jerk, we also added some minced garlic, some garlic powder, and then we added that good old Goya adobo all-purpose seasoning. I threw a little bit of spatchcock paprika in there as well. When you're done, your chicken should look like this. You see that? You want your chicken thighs to be seasoned, well seasoned. You want every nook and cranny under that skin, under them flaps and folds, to be coated in that marinade. Next, you're going to want to grab your oil of choice. I use avocado oil, but you use what you use. Don't forget to preheat that oven. We're going to go ahead and put it on 375 because we're going to bake this. Now get your oven safe pot and we're going to go ahead and add that oil of choice to it. You want to get it nice and hot because we want to go ahead and brown the skin. We are not going to completely cook the chicken, but we're going to get that skin nice and golden brown so that we can go ahead and sear in a lot of that flavor. Depending on the pot that you're using, you're going to want to let that chicken sear for about 2 to 4 minutes. Here I am checking it at the 2-minute mark, and as you can see, it was just starting to turn golden brown, but we're not there yet. Here we are at the 4-minute mark, and that is what we're looking for. Go ahead and flip that chicken over and let it cook for another 2 to 4 minutes. Check in between because you do not want to overcook this. Like I said, we are going to finish this in the oven, so you do not want this completely cooked. I like to make my own chicken broth, so we're taking that better than bouillon chicken and then that roasted garlic base to make our broth. I'm adding in 2 cups of hot water to this better than bouillon base. We use 2 teaspoons of the chicken and 1 teaspoon of the garlic. You're going to go ahead and mix that until it's well combined and you don't have any more clumps of bouillon in the bottom. Mix, 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 mix. Mix, 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 mix. Now head back over to that pot because we're going to go ahead and remove that chicken so that we are able to get all the drippings off of the bottom. We're going to want to scrape the bottom using a wooden utensil or something made of silicone so that way you do not damage the interior of your pot. Next, go ahead and add in your onions. You'll want to cook that on a medium heat until your onions become light and translucent. Go ahead and continue to get all those drippings off the bottom. Next, you'll want to add in your garlic. You'll want to keep stirring this because you do not want your garlic to burn. Burnt garlic will ruin a dish. Next, we're going to add our rinsed rice. Yes, I rinse my rice. I know this is a controversial topic. A lot of people do not. I prefer to always rinse my rice. Next, you're going to want to cook that rice for about 2 to 3 minutes. You just want to get it a light brown. I am going to go ahead and add in some sun-dried tomatoes to my rice. I find that sun-dried tomatoes adds a savory flavor to the rice. Next, we're going to want to prepare the broccoli. I prefer to use fresh broccoli, but you can also use frozen broccoli with this dish. If you do use frozen broccoli with this dish, you want to add it in the last 5 to 7 minutes of your cooking time. Overall, you're going to want to cook this meal for about 30 minutes. One of my cooking hacks with rice is you can always add in Campbell's soup to your rice to give it a bunch of flavor. We're going to be adding in the cream of chicken with herb. I'm going to mix this with the chicken broth that you've seen us create, so that way we can create the broth that the rice is going to cook in. You're going to want to mix that until it's well combined and the soup is nice and creamy. Next, we're going to take that mixture and add it into our golden brown rice. You'll want to go ahead and fold this in. Make sure that all the rice is covered in the liquid. You don't want any clumps and you do not want any dry rice. Once your rice is well combined, you do want to bring it to a simmer. You do not want to boil, but you do want a light simmer. Next, we're going to add our chicken back into the pot. You're going to want them close, not necessarily touching, but you want them close because you want the chicken to cook evenly. I bet you thought we forgot about those drippings. Nope, we're going to go ahead and add that to the pot. We want all the flavors within this dish. Go ahead and cover your pot, and then you're going to want to place it in that preheated oven, and we're going to cook it for 13 minutes. I prefer 13 minutes because it allows us to prepare the rest of the soup base that we need and then still have the rice to have ample amount of time to cook. So we're going to take that cream of mushroom soup. We're going to add in small amounts of water. You do not want this to be runny, but you do not want this soup to be completely thick. So you want to keep adding in small amounts of water till you get it to the right consistency. Once the timer has gone off, you're going to go ahead and remove your chicken from the oven, and you're going to take the chicken out and place it back on that plate. This is already looking delicious. Here I am fluffing the rice just to allow some space so that way we can let that soup get into the rice. This is when we're going to now add in the cream of mushroom soup. And we're going to want to fold it into the rice so that way all the rice is covered with this soup. Next, we're going to add in our broccoli. I did go ahead and put a little bit of that Cajun season over the broccoli after I rinsed it, but you're going to want to create that bed, and then you're going to want to add your chicken back on top. You're going to pop it back in the oven for 10 more minutes, and then voila, there you have your one pot jerk chicken with rice and broccoli. Enjoy!